Good morning, everybody. Okay, day 4.5. Well, 4.5 days now with no power. Still no power this morning. In the last segment, you saw me returning back from a friend's house where I was able to get a shower and make some phone calls, pay some bills, that kind of thing. Check in with work. Was very hopeful that the power would be back on by today, but it's not. From what I understand, there was like 9,400 in this area without power still, and the neighboring electric company with all their areas was like 54,000. So this is massive, and we're not the only state. As I was making some phone calls, I learned that several other states are experiencing this too. So that's why I haven't received my package, my power bank that I could have used all through this week. So ironic, isn't it? Anyway, so right now, the good thing is it's above freezing. There's a plus side to that, which that's good. It's not as cold, but on the downside to that, that means everything in my freezer that had been frozen solid even through 3 days is now starting to thaw. So I have got out the cooler, and I'm going to transfer that meat into the cooler in hopes that this power will come back on and I won't lose all that. I'll cover it up. It's cold out here. We still have snow. We got about another inch, less an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch last night. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's good. So we'll set the cooler out here, put the meat in it, and hopefully preserve that for as long as possible, because I had just went to the store like Sunday before this hit on Monday, and it had been frozen solid. But now, as the temperatures are warming, it's even though my house stays on the cool side, this is starting. I checked it this morning, and it's starting to thaw a little bit. So, gonna transfer that out, and we'll go from there. The saga continues, you guys. Never a dull moment here on Gal Gone Camping. The adventure continues. Check in later. See ya. Okay, everybody, here we go. So as I said in the last segment, food was starting to thaw. I got all that put in the cooler and covered up with snow. So I'm good for there right now. So starting to examine all that and see what is starting to thaw the worst. I had just about 1/4 of a package of frozen strawberries, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. But I also had, let's see, the other day I had these little breakfast pork chops, really thin little boneless breakfast pork chops. I'd fixed like 3 of those a couple mornings ago and put the rest of them in the fridge. I thought that's probably going to be the first thing I need to fix up. So I did that. They are still good. And so that will be breakfast this morning. And the thing about nothing goes to waste here. I'm going to try to salvage as much of this food as I can. Hopefully the power will be back on. But I think it's going to be good out there in the snow for a while, except for some things that, will thaw first. But so nothing goes to waste here because of my doggies. I got 3 doggies and a kitty cat. But nothing will go to waste, so that's for sure. They'll eat it. But the pork chops are still good. I've got that done up. Now, y'all remember a video I did here just a little bit ago about the way to make homemade cornbread without an oven and without any milk or buttermilk, where you use a little splash of vinegar in with your water. Well, that's also, I don't know if you've all have ever made homemade cobblers. I love homemade blueberry, blackberry is my favorite, but I love blueberry cobbler. So the other day, I guess that was maybe Monday before this power went off, I just got a little tiny dish, a little baking dish, and I wanted a cobbler. So what I do with the way I make it, I just normally, I would use just a little bit of flour and sugar and milk. Flour, sugar, and milk. No egg. And you just stir that up and you make it thin like. And because you don't want that to get too cakey when you bake a cobbler. So, but once again, you guys know I don't keep milk because I don't use enough of it to where it lasts. I don't drink it. I don't like milk or buttermilk, so it does not last if I do buy it to just even cook with. So I never have milk. Just cannot keep it. So I had, to make that cobbler, I thought, I'm just going to try the little splash of vinegar, just like I did with the cornbread. And it worked perfectly. So that was great. So I half of that left. It only took a little bit because I made a very small dish, so I kept the rest of that. So I got that out a minute ago. The batter, of course, because it doesn't have any milk, it was still good. So there's nothing in there to ruin. There was just water and that and vinegar, and then the flour. And I did put some sugar in that. So I had that left over. I just added a little more water to thin it out, which is already thin, but to stir it up again. And so I'm going to turn this around, show you what I made with that. I'm going to see how that did with like a pancake type thing. So, been cooking here on my little butane stove, which has been I said before, this is one of the best purchases I've ever made. So I've cooked on this all week, you guys, and it's still on the same. Well, I had this tank of the butane tank in there where I had it in the van, where I was camping, you know, where I'd used it before in the van. So, I mean, it's really lasted a while. So over here is the batter that I used from what I'd used in the little homemade cobbler the other day. Now it was super thin, so it you know, it doesn't turn out like a really good pancake, but it is just flour and water and a little bit of vinegar and sugar is in that. So you basically got you a pancake, even though it don't look pretty, y'all. That's okay. Now the first thing that was starting to fall, you know, with this. With the power outage, I noticed was the strawberries, and I only had about a quarter of a pack, about right down to here. So I went ahead and put a little bit of Sweet and Low in those. I just stuck it right in the bag, stirred that up, and I am going to put that, hang on just a minute. If y'all can see that. You see that? Hang on. I'm in the wrong spot here. Hang on a minute. Don't want it to come out of the bag very good. There it is. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Can only do so much with one hand. I don't have the phone stand here, the camera stand, so I'm just doing this handheld. So, okay, so those was already sweetened with my Sweet and Low, so I just put them on top of my little improvised pancake. And I got another little piece over here in the skillet. And I am going to just, why is that? I cannot get the camera right. I'm going to put that on here. Almost like a little crumble. And you know what? I didn't bring it in, but when I was putting my stuff out there in the cooler, I got some Cool Whip out there. Anyway, I could, and I probably will in a minute, put a little dab of Cool Whip on that. And where I would normally put, you know, this is almost like a crepe type dish. A really thin batter and some fruit. You know, basically it's just not fixed pretty. But you know what? Who cares? We're in a crisis here, you guys. We're on an adventure. This is camping inside. So I'm just going to put a little bit, you know, normally you'd put your confectionery sugar, you know, just to dress it up, make it pretty or whatever. And I'm going to just put a little more Sweet and Low in there. I always say Sweet and Low. This is actually Splenda, but any kind of sweetener. And you know what I dug out of the cabinet? Hang on. I got to clean out my cabinets. I want to get rid of everything, I swear. I want to hit the road and stay on the road is what I want to do. But I found a few sugar sprinkles. They're red. We just come through Valentine's Day about a week ago, you guys. So I'm going to put a few red sprinkles on there. Who says being without power for 4 or 5 days is always a bad thing? Let's see what this is like. Okay, guys. It's good. It's just like a thin pancake. That batter is good. With the strawberries, a little Sweet and Low, or Splenda sugar substitute. Now, in that batter, I did put regular sugar when I made that batter up the other day for that cobbler. So there is sugar in that. But, you guys, there's so many things that's doable. So many things that's doable when you don't have, you know, just, you got to think outside the box. That's what doggone camping is all about. You know, we're living off grid here. All right. More later. The saga continues. All right, you guys. Check in later. See ya. Okay, you guys. I have put over here my brunch. I put everything together. I want to show you all. This is all without power, and how good you can eat, and how good things could be even when you don't have power and when you have a hard, aggravating situation. I personally love this. I love it because I just love doing things this way. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you my brunch. Okay, here's my pork chops I was telling you, the remainder of them. I want to go ahead and fix them before they ruin. They are still good. And here, y'all, is my strawberry crepey pancake thingy concoction. I went ahead and put some Cool Whip. Got it out of the cooler out there on the deck. I put a dollop of Cool Whip on there and my sprinkles, and I have my orange drink here that I always drink. Y'all may have seen one of my, I didn't have this on a video, but it was in a blog post about the drink packets, which I think are wonderful. Saves a ton of money. All different flavors. This is orange. I usually have them every morning. And so I dug out one of this was in my minivan, my mini-it, micro camper, this little old-fashioned percolator pot here. But the basket, I think the basket is out there. I didn't get it, and I didn't want to go back full with it, but you don't need it. I've talked about the pouches is what I usually use for fixing coffee in any kind of, any kind of pot or pan or anything. But I was out of those. So once again, just going back to the old-timey thing, we used to do this when I was camping while I was a kid. There goes my cat. He's wanting to check out breakfast, so he's going to be joining me. This is Bob, y'all. Hey, kitty cat. He's not enthused. Okay, so I just put regular coffee grounds in there. This does not have a basket in it. I don't have a little percolator basket in it. I just put a couple scoops of coffee, put my water in there, put it on my little propane or on my butane stove. You just got to boil it, and you let it sit. You let it sit and let them grounds go to the bottom, and look, it's great. I mean, now it might be a little bit strong. I maybe got a little bit too much coffee, but I like it on the strong side. That's the reason I got this out, because, the last day or two, I had been using the Folgers single packs, like the tea bags, just heating up water, but I had to use 2 of them because it had to be stronger than that for me. So it just doesn't do it for me. So I wanted to go ahead and make some real coffee. And you can do it this way too. You don't even need the basket. And you guys, I just went ahead and lit a candle this morning. This is what I had been going last night. I'm almost out of candles. I do got to get some more. That's another thing. I always keep you plenty of candles on hand. This is, I told you, belonged to my great-grandmother. And another thing, and I showed y'all too about my the oil lamp that I was reading a book by the other night. That was my grandmother's, the one that she bought it for. She sold blackberries for 10 cents a gallon that she'd picked to buy that oil lamp. That's very special to me. But I'm thinking, when I go on the road full time, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I did a blog post on that, so you guys will find that. I'll try to find the link to it and put the link to that on the description down here, or on the screen here somewhere. But it talks about what are you going to do with stuff when you go to downsize, and you can sell a lot, you can give a lot away. What about those special pieces that's hard to part with? My kids are not going to want all this stuff. I hope that they take a few family pieces that would be special to them. I just have one son and his wife and my little grandson, but a lot of these younger people are not into that kind of stuff. So whatever they don't want, what am I going to do with it? It's something to think about. They're just things, but they're very special, and they bring back memories, and it just wonders, you wonder where they're going to end up. And so anyway, that's a pretty interesting piece to read. I'll try to put that link on here. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to have my brunch before it gets cold. And did I need that candle this morning? No, I just wanted to do it because of the elegance. I did. I'm going to have to blow it out because it's dripping onto my counter. All right, you guys. I don't know. It's about, I think it's about 11. It's probably about 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. now. So I don't know when the power's coming back on. There's no word of when it will be back on. Nobody seems to know. So still a ton of outages, and we'll see what happens, what the rest of the day holds, and we'll check in later. I did get some more wood in while I was at my friend's house yesterday. I got some more wood in, so still got wood for fireplace fire, and temperatures were warming up, so it's not as cold as it was. That's Pepper barking in the background. I got my crew here. You know, I love having them here. All right, you guys, take care, stay warm, stay safe wherever you are, and remember, don't wait to live and have an adventure. You can have this is an adventure right here in my home, so, you know, good or bad, make it an adventure, you guys. It's all good. Check in later. See ya. Okay, you guys. If I can get these babies to move, look, they're like they're shivering to death, but yet they'll go out in crazy, crazy weather. Watch out, you guys. I want to show this. Watch out. Okay, you guys, look. I want to show you this ice right here. I tried the other day. Like I said, things are starting to warm up, but look how thick it still is. I mean, it's right now starting to melt. But the other day, now it's starting to bust up now. But the other day, this was so hard that I could not bust this up with a hammer. Now today, it's doing better. Oh, move, Pepper. You see how, look how thick that is. Look how thick. It's still in places, but it's finally starting to melt. Super thick. We've not had this here since, like I said, in 2009. And that ice storm we had lasted several days. So, also got all of the food out of the freezer that was starting to thaw up somewhat. Got it in the cooler. I covered it up with some snow. And, you know, done the best I can with that. Putting the meat and everything down closest to the bottom of the cooler where it's going to be next to the snow, and piled some on top of it. Put this chair over it so animals won't get in it. There's a story there. If my son's listening to this, he'll get a kick out of it. Years ago when he was still at home, and the dog we had then, her name was Amber. She was a wonderful, wonderful doggie, and she was incredibly smart. But he caught her one day getting into the garbage, and you know, I said, no, you're mistaken. That's the neighbor's dogs got into that garbage, not Amber. And so anyway, we just had to run and joke about that. So I don't think my doggies are going to get into this. If something gets into it, it's going to be somebody else's dogs, right? Oh yeah, whatever. So anyway, they are incredibly smart. So I'm going to try to make it out, venture out to where there's some kind of where I can get some kind of internet signal so I can check in with work. And the story continues. The adventure continues. It is almost noon now. So, check in with y'all later. Hello, everyone. This is Friday evening. This is day 4, going into almost day 5 of no electric. And I do believe I had to run out this evening. And I do believe that I may have power when I get home, because if you see, I'm headed home now, and there is power in some of these places. And I just got a message from my neighbor I had checked on earlier before I left to see if they needed anything, and she messaged me back and said that the power had just come back on. So I bet that I have power. I left my porch light on before I left, so that if it did come back, I would know as soon as I pulled in the driveway. So we will see, and we're going to be excited if it is. You know, you guys, I love living off the grid. I love doing all that, but you know, you do miss your modern conveniences. I'll be honest. You know, you miss your TV, you miss your computer, and you miss everything. We've got electricity and we're used to it, but you do not want to be dependent on it. I've said over and over and over, treat it like a luxury. You You know, I wrote a poem one time called Love is a Luxury, you know, and I said in the poem, you know, treat love like a luxury, that way you won't miss it so much when it's gone. Same thing with electricity and all modern conveniences. It's great, but we do not want to get so dependent on it that we have to have it, because I mean, this just goes to show, and this is just a sample. I mean, there could be things happen, and it will eventually as time goes on. It's hard telling what we'll see before the end comes, but we could be in some dire circumstances where we don't have electricity for Lord knows how long. So learn how to live without it. You know, enjoy it while you got it, but learn how to do things without it. Learn how to, you know, a big part of it is attitude, you guys. A big part of it is attitude. You can't get aggravated about it. You've got to learn how to do things without electricity. You got to know how to live off the grid. And so I will let you guys know here shortly if I have electricity or not. See you in a few. Okay, you guys, I see light. I see the light. So I'm coming up on my house right now, and the power is on. Thank you, Lord. It is on after almost 5 days. The power is on. It's been restored. Thank you to all the linemen and everybody who's made this possible. You know, like I said, we like our electric. We miss it when it's gone, but we do not want to depend on it. We don't want to depend on it. So anyway, I'm super glad that I am able to do without it. I've done really well all week, and you all can too. So follow along on Gal Gone Camping and learn how to live off the grid, you guys. Learn how to do all these things. So a lot more information coming your way on Gal Gone Camping. Remember to subscribe to the blog, subscribe here to the YouTube channel, follow along on the Gal Gone Camping Facebook page and Instagram, and keep on keeping on. You guys can do it. Woohoo! It's been an adventure. 5 days. 2021 ice storm. I survived it. All right. I hope everybody is well and safe. And remember, you guys, don't wait to live. Everything's an adventure. See you down the road.